There had been lots of speculation going around that FEMA's, shall we say, lackluster performance after Helene was because Appalachia is largely full of Trump voters and because historically, Appalachia always gets screwed. Of course, this was dismissed as a conspiracy theory. We were told that it was misinformation that was stopping people from getting the vital help they needed. Well, now we know from internal memos the so-called conspiracy theory was true. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I wish that I could say this story surprised me, but really it didn't. Anytime something like this comes out now, the only thing surprising me these days is really that they got caught. And while it's true that this story applies to Hurricane Milton, that doesn't mean that the same thing wasn't happening during Helene. But before I get into the details here that we all suspected, this video is brought to you by Blackout Coffee Company. Blackout is a family-owned and operated coffee roaster based in sunny Florida and built on traditional values. They have been a supporter of this channel for a long time, helping me keep the lights on and keep me caffeinated, and have supported your Second Amendment rights for even longer. They have absolutely amazing coffees, teas, and hot chocolates, and even have specialty partner roasts that donate directly to some of your favorite gun rights groups like GOA and FPC. So to get a cup of coffee that you can be proud of, go to blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll, and now you can use code LibertyDoll for a one-time 20% discount. This story was first broken by the Daily Wire thanks to a FEMA whistleblower that provided internal memos and copies of group chat messages from FEMA supervisor Marnie Washington, who ordered workers to avoid homes advertising Trump in the Lake Placid area of Florida in October following Hurricane Milton. So again, not exactly the mountains of North Carolina, but the sentiment was the same, and it's not yet clear if this was the only incidence of the agency being instructed to withhold aid from Trump supporters. FEMA has stated that they're conducting an internal investigation, and well, when people investigate themselves, not much ever happens, and who knows if we'll be told the truth. So Washington sent out internal memos on the agency's, quote, best practices to Crew 33, a group of DHS workers who had been pulled into FEMA to help in relief efforts. The second bullet point on the list states, avoid homes advertising Trump. Several federal employees have confirmed that this was also relayed in person starting on October 22nd. The group chat message was sent out on October 27th. She didn't give any explanation to her reasoning, but I don't think much of one is needed. I think the intention behind what she said was pretty clear. Other advice included not going anywhere alone, staying hydrated, and practicing de-escalation techniques with victims. The guidance was deleted from those chat messages on October 30th, but people took screenshots and the internet is forever, and the damage had already been done. As the workers canvassed the area, they were instructed to avoid at least 20 homes with Trump signs or flags outside. Screenshots and correlating photos of the homes showed their entries in the FEMA database as Trump sign, no contact per leadership. Washington is, or until Saturday, November 9th, was the disaster survivor assistance crew leader for Highland County, a deep red area that ended up going 70% for Trump on Tuesday. She was put on leave during the investigation, but has since been fired. But only after the story went public, and she had been denying assistance to Trump supporters for 2 weeks. Some of the workers even filed complaints with DHS saying that they had volunteered to join the FEMA teams because they were going to help people, or that's what they thought, and instead ended up going there to discriminate against people. They got other FEMA administrators involved, and Washington denied the allegations against her, but again, people had receipts. The workers said that until the Daily Wire report, Washington had not been punished at all. She'd only been shifted to another county in Florida where she could, presumably, do the same thing. According to her now deleted LinkedIn, she had worked at FEMA since 2019. When asked about it, Washington's FEMA supervisor, Chad Hershey, told the Daily Wire that they were aware of the situation. A spokesperson later told the Daily Wire that FEMA was deeply disturbed and horrified by Washington's actions and that the agency had, quote, taken extreme actions to correct this situation. Again, only after the story went public. They added, While we believe this is an isolated incident, we have taken measures to remove the employee from their role and are investigating the matter to prevent this from happening ever again, the spokesperson said in an emailed statement. The employee who issued this guidance had no authority and was given no direction to tell teams to avoid these homes, and we are reaching out to the people who may have not been reached as a result of this incident. So yes, they were horrified that it went public. On Saturday, FEMA Director Deanne Criswell issued a response to the reports on social media, stating simply, "More than 20,000 FEMA workers every day adhere to FEMA's core values and are dedicated to helping people before, during, and after disasters, often sacrificing time with their own families to help disaster survivors." Which doesn't sound at all like an apology, naming the employee, or taking any accountability as an agency. Scrolling down the thread several responses later, she did eventually say that the employee's actions had violated FEMA's values, she had been fired, and that the matter had been turned over to the Office of Special Counsel. Even then, FEMA refused to name Washington. Now, we don't know when the internal investigation started or when these workers brought this issue to higher supervisors, but judging on the fact that she started deleting these messages on October 30th, I think we can assume that it was probably around then. Which meant again that she was transferred elsewhere and allowed to potentially continue these practices unpunished for 10 days until she was fired after the public report. Like Criswell, the CBS report and other mainstream media outlets also didn't name the employee, the time frame, or where it happened, despite all of that information having been available from the Daily Wire for at least 24 hours at the time of their publication. And oddly enough, the New York Post was, at the time of this video, the only outlet showing Washington's face. Everyone else just popped up a generic FEMA logo or a photo of Criswell. I'm going to let you draw your own conclusions from that one, but it's a little weird. That is it for this video, guys. I know that the news, by the time this gets to you, is going to be a solid, 3 days old, and I apologize for that. I actually meant to get this out a day earlier, but Liberty Toddler had other plans for me. Anyways, you know the drill for all of the algorithm things. Please like, share, and subscribe if you are new here. Ring that notification bell and drop a comment down below to help boost this video in the algorithm. And as always, thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay safe out there and happy shooting. And I promise that once FEMA stops effing around, we will get back to some more Second Amendment content.